Hey everybody, it's Alicia with Graceful Plans, and today it is Terrarium Tuesday. So today I've got a few plants that would benefit from being in a terrarium, and I'll show you here in a second what I'm talking about. So I've decided that I'm going to make a little terrarium hospital out of this cute little jar. So the first plant that I'm going to be putting into my terrarium hospital is this curly little fern. So he's technically not dying or in terrible shape, but I figured he'd just be a little bit happier in a terrarium where he can get all the little water his little heart desires. So we will be putting him in the hospital. And this one isn't really dying. He's just little. It is a parallel peperomia. There's a little guy. So I figured, yeah, we'll stick him in here. He's little. He'll like it, hopefully. The third plant that I'm going to be putting into the hospital is, and do not judge me for this, I made some big mistakes with this one, and I've seen the error of my ways. Yeah, I know. So this is a Pilea Baby's Tears. He was really cute when I got him. And hindsight, obviously should not have put him in a terracotta because, like ferns, kind of water whores-ish. And I let him get a little bit too dry, and once he got dry, he just wasn't ever going to be happy again. So we're going to dig him up and hopefully find at least a few good roots that we can put into the hospital and hopefully help him bounce back, because I mean, I am seeing a little bit of new growth on here amongst all of his dead friends. So we'll see. And then the fourth plant that I'm going to be putting into the hospital, and if you've watched my houseplant tour, which I should be posting before this, you will have seen my little Calathea ornata. So this plant was a goner. I was tired of fighting the spider mites on him. I was tired of treating her, so I cut her back so that there was absolutely nothing left, and I just left the pot sit on my counter back there. And lo and behold, with no water, no light basically, because she was hidden underneath my Calathea musaica, she sprouted. So she does want to live after all. So I think I'm going to give her a fighting chance and a little bit of protection from the wicked spider mites that plague my house. And we're going to put her into the hospital and see if she continues on her path of life. So these are the 4 plants that I am going to be putting into my terrarium. And this little jar is going to be really nice, because as you can see, it's got this little bottom here. So the bottom I'm going to be filling with large rocks that will help with drainage. On top of the rocks, we're going to be putting some cool mesh. And then on top of the mesh, we're going to be putting some charcoal, because this is going to be a closed terrarium. So the water is going to hopefully, in theory, recycle itself. And the charcoal is going to keep the water from getting stagnant and nasty and gross. And the screen is just going to keep the charcoal from going into the rocks and the nasty stagnant water, basically. And then on top of the charcoal, we're just going to be putting some potting mix, and we're going to plant our pretty little plants. So I'm just going to get right to it. And yeah, hopefully all goes well, because these guys deserve better than me. Can you hear my son playing? Him and his dad are flying the drone around the house. Yeah, that's what happens when mommy asks for quiet time so she can film a video. And I may actually need more rock. I don't know if I'm going to have enough to fill this bottom here, but we're going to try. And I actually got these white rocks from Hobby Lobby. I think they were like $2.99 with a 40% off coupon where you could do the math. So they weren't too expensive. So then the next thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna stick in my horribly cut screen. And then we're just going to dump some charcoal on top of this. And I'm not going to touch the charcoal because it makes a mess. A little bit too much charcoal, but I'm not touching it to get it out of there. Oh well. At least this way I'll have a nice little white layer and then a black layer. I'm just gonna pour some of my potting mix in here. And I'm not gonna put as much as I need in there right away because I'm probably going to be adding more once I get the plants in here. Smush this around so it's relatively even-ish. Even though I'm going to be disturbing this again in 2 seconds. All right, so the first guy we're gonna put in here is my fern because I know that I want her in there for sure, and hopefully she's got some nice roots on her. All right, so the first one I'm gonna unpot here is my fern because, and I guess she does have a few little curly bits back here that we're gonna cut off. But I've had her the longest, so in theory she should have the largest root system out of everything. So she's going to take up, in theory, the most room in the jar. So we're going to put her in first. So there we go. I'm going to clean a little bit more of this stuff off of her. There we go. There's my fern. And I might not show you the rest of this, but I'm going to just empty everything else, or unpot everything else that I'm going to be putting in there. All right, so now that we've got my plants out, we're just going to kind of go around and make a little bit of a well here. The next one I'm going to put in here. I'm sort of thinking I don't want to put my calathea in there because I'm thinking it might not be enough room for her. So next we're going to put in here is my little parallel peperomia. I'm going to add a little bit more potting mix. All right, and the last thing I'm going to put in here is my little baby's tears. I was able to pull off a few stems that had a little bit of life left into them. So we're just going to kind of wrap them around the outside of the jar here. Kind of just put their roots in there, and we're just going to kind of let her be right there. And I will be putting a little bit of top dressing in here to kind of support this little peperomia because she keeps kind of tipping. But she'll be fine. She'll be just fine. All right, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see her. I do have a little piece of driftwood I was thinking about putting in here, but we'll see. Kind of gives a little bit of separation between my curly fern there. All right, there's that. All right, so here we go. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this because there's a reflection from the window there, but here is my little hospital terrarium. So you can see I kind of went a little bit heavier with the top rocks behind the driftwood behind that fern than I did up front here because I have got my baby's tears kind of wrapping around the front side of the terrarium. And so I want them to be able to reach the potting mix to kind of root in a little bit better. And I'm not worried about killing the fern back there with too much topsoil because I'll tell you what, I've got ferns in my yard, and the only thing that's going to be left after a nuclear holocaust is going to be the roaches and the ferns in my yard because I cannot kill them to save my life. So I'm not too worried about her back there, but I think it looks nice. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Is it a nice kitchen table terrarium? But as always, you guys are awesome. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you like this video or any of my other videos, please make sure to like and share them with your plant-loving friends. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. But we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.